Turned, a young, brilliant tech mogul in the vibrant city of Lagos, was the very embodiment of success. His thriving startup, Innovate Africa, a celebrated beacon of hope and progress for the entire nation. His seemingly perfect life was a beautiful tapestry woven with the shimmering threads of immense fortune and an unshakable network of support, the envy of everyone who knew him. His best friend, Chidi, was also his trusted business partner, a man Turned had known and shared dreams with since their formative university days, their bond a sacred trust forged over a decade of shared ambition. By his side was his stunning fiancée, Sod, a woman of breathtaking beauty and razor-sharp wit, whose love was a constant, shimmering shield against the world's inevitable chaos. Their public displays of affection at glamorous Lagos galas and their intimate private moments were a testament to a love that felt both profound and enduring, a storybook romance in the heart of Africa. The first tremor of their seemingly perfect world's inevitable collapse was subtle, a minor dip in quarterly revenue that his team dismissed as a temporary, easily corrected market fluctuation. But the tremors quickly grew into a full-blown earthquake, a catastrophic financial collapse that seemed to happen overnight, leaving Innovate Africa in absolute ruins and Turned stripped of his entire, hard-earned fortune. The devastating loss was so profound it felt like a physical weight on his chest, stealing his breath with every agonizing thought of what he had so meticulously built and so suddenly lost. He turned to Chidi, his loyal partner, who was by his side instantly, a concerned expression on his face as he offered empty promises of loyalty and worked tirelessly to salvage what little they had left. Meanwhile, Sod became his emotional anchor, a quiet, reassuring presence who comforted him through countless sleepless nights, her soft whispers and gentle touch a constant reassurance that their love would outlast any financial hardship. She would hold his hand as he stared into the dark, empty void of his laptop screen, whispering sweet nothings about a future where they would rebuild their lives from the ashes, and Turned believed her with every fiber of his being. The descent into destitution was slow and agonizing, each passing day a fresh humiliation as the sleek, expensive cars were repossessed and their luxurious penthouse was vacated. Turned began to notice small inconsistencies in the company's final financial statements, anomalies that didn't add up, a sense of unease that he initially dismissed as simple paranoia born of stress. But the persistent, icy worm of doubt gnawed at him, burrowing deep into his mind until he could no longer ignore the undeniable feeling that something was terribly wrong. He began to investigate on his own, late at night, poring over dusty digital ledgers and obscure old bank statements, and the cruel truth began to emerge not as a sudden revelation, but as a slow, horrifying trickle of betrayal. He discovered a series of large, unexplained transfers, funds funneled into a mysterious shell company that seemed to have appeared out of thin air. With a sickening lurch, he hired a private investigator, a former corporate forensic specialist, who worked in the shadows to trace the money's suspicious destination. The investigator's report, when it finally arrived, was a simple, brutal document that confirmed his very worst fears. The shell company was indeed real, and its sole proprietor was none other than his best friend, Chidi, who had been systematically draining their accounts for months. The discovery hit Turned like a physical blow, the pain of betrayal far more acute and profound than the pain of his complete financial ruin. But the story's true cruelty, its most scandalous and devastating twist, was yet to be revealed. After confronting Chidi in a rage-fueled showdown that left the room in shambles, Turned was left with a hollow victory, the knowledge of betrayal but not the full, agonizing picture. Later that same night, while scrolling through Chidi's digital files from the investigator, Ton found a series of encrypted messages that sent a shiver of dread down his spine. His heart pounded in his ears as he finally cracked the code, only to find a sickeningly intimate conversation between Chidi and a second, unknown party. His blood ran cold as he read the messages, each one a dagger to his heart, revealing the horrifying fact that Sod had been not just a passive accomplice but the cold and calculating mastermind of the entire scheme. The messages detailed her specific instructions, a strategic advice on how to expertly manipulate Tond, and her casual, almost gleeful description of his agonizing descent into despair. The ultimate betrayal was a secret love story, a passionate affair between his best friend and his fiancée that had begun long before the company's collapse. They hadn't just taken his money, they had meticulously orchestrated the entire scenario to take his love, his hope, and his very sense of self. The love he had cherished, the comfort he had found in Soda's arms, was nothing but a cynical, well-rehearsed performance put on for a gullible fool. The tears he had shed, the vulnerable moments he had shared, had been met with secret mockery and a shared, knowing look between his betrayers. Ton now lived in a small, sparse apartment, the echo of his former life a haunting phantom in the suffocating silence. The vibrant city lights of Lagos, once a beacon of opportunity, now seemed to mock his naive trust. He found a new, bitter kind of clarity in his solitude, a profound understanding that life's cruelty is not merely in the loss of fortune, but in the brutal unmasking of the people you hold dearest. The loyalty he had believed in was nothing more than a carefully constructed lie, a facade designed to exploit his trust. He would look at old photos on his phone, snapshots of him, Chidi, and Sod laughing together, their smiles so genuine, their eyes so full of what he thought was friendship and love. He felt a profound emptiness, a void where his trust and innocence had once resided, replaced by a deep and abiding cynicism that would likely never fade. He learned that the people who smile to your face and offer a helping hand in your time of need can be the very ones who plunge the sharpest knife into your back. The wound would likely never heal, a constant, dull ache that served as a permanent reminder of the day his perfect world shattered, revealing the horrifying, grotesque truth beneath its polished surface.